planning and implementing the food security operations in the end of 2008 and on into 2009. But as it is in most civilian post-traumatic societies, the civilian population that have to live through civil war, etc., long duration wars like we had in Sarajevo, East Timor, Vietnam, other areas where we've operated, there's a sense of living in the day, in the moment. Because when this war is going on, you don't know when you wake up in the morning if you'll live to the end of the day. You don't know if you'll live 2 hours from now. So everyone lives in the moment. They make decisions based in the moment. So things that we would see as grossly inappropriate and incomprehensible, like destroying things that's going to help you tomorrow, we find is common as those societies kind of get over the traumas of war and grow out of it. Well, it's still kind of early for Liberia. We've gone and we've tried to get our programs up. Our goal was to demonstrate our swamp to rice quick impact program, which we did. We did that successfully. We took many acres of raw bush with trees that were thick out to the road, and we created a program where we took the ex-combatants, those people who were the survivors of the war, both the victims, all of them were victims, and the victimizers, and we, utilizing our system, eliminated the conflict between them and got them working together to demonstrate a way forward, demonstrate food capacity for the communities or for the groups or for the people involved, and food capacity being the ability to feed yourself from a single harvest. So we demonstrated that by taking these acres of raw bush and in 5 months' time clearing them to develop swamped with rice a foot tall, and those farms we harvested 5 months later. We began to harvest 5 months later. We spent a lot of money doing the development of the swamps so that they would be there, sustainable, and the people could continue the program. Now, our initial plan was to recover our initial costs, split the profit, whatever was left, with the farmers in order to continue the program. Split the farmers, since we were doing the development of the farmlands, etc. They would get 30% of whatever was left, and we would use 70% to reseed the farms and also to spread the program to other areas. Well, we had a lot of problems. We had a lot of problems with implementation. We had one of the leaders in the country that was touted as a leader at one point. One of the generals found out that he was had a bad reputation, and you know, it ended up just not really working well for us. He misappropriated the resources, only a fraction of the farms that should have been developed, although it still amounted to quite a bit, but nowhere near the magnitude and scale that we had funded when we went to inspect was actually done, and many of the leaders in the program were basically using the program for personal development rather than using it for national development. And so that was a frustration, but we were prepared to deal with that. But then the challenges in the country were very high with a lot in the administration. It was very difficult working through the various ministries to get things done, because all of the ministers wanted heavy compensation before they would do anything at all for the country. And we even had a situation where the bank we were dealing with, International Bank Liberia Limited, during the time I was out of the country, they gave someone else a checkbook to our church account and began to honor checks as a part of a conspiracy between bank administration and the people they issued the checks to. And You know, they stole $84,000 from our account, and we've not been able to get any of the attorneys in the country, including some of them that are in very high positions in the judiciary now, to even get justice. So in an environment like that, it's very difficult, if not impossible, for a program to be sustainable. But we're always looking to create a sustainable solution. So what we've decided that we would do is we're going to take the small percentage of rice that we did recover from the program after the farmers took 70%, after the security stole the equipment and the uniforms and the tools and stole the rice, and after the administrators in the program stole the supplies and the rice and the raincoats and whatever else that we had there to make provision for hundreds of workers. After stealing all of that, when we finally looked at what we were able to recover, it ended up being about 40 tons, around 45 tons. So we're going to, I've decided to donate the 40 tons of high quality and various varieties of soil match seed to the president of Liberia for the people of Liberia. And if they're able to implement the program the way it should, then this volume of rice in 3 harvests should feed about 25 to 30% of the national population, and in 2 years after that, the country should be at export capacity just from this volume. So this is what we're going to do, and hopefully once that's done, the property that we took to Liberia, that we borrowed from our program in Sierra Leone and took to Liberia, we'll take that back to Sierra Leone, and as we make provisions to bring equipment into Liberia for Liberia, and hopefully with this donation and the country knowing that they have this resource available, then whatever the next administration is, they'll be interested in making food security a reality, and then they'll contact us and we'll be able to, as a consultancy, help get the program up so that the potential of this donation can be realized for the benefit of the people. So, you know, right now the country's preparing for national elections. It's going to be hard to get things done, so we just want to make a very positive, make this donation so that the resources there, it'll be there in time, so there won't be a question of getting seeds on the farms and to the other development areas in time. It's there, it's ready, it's viable. It's the same thing the same quality of seed that we're using in our program in Sierra Leone. It's just that this is seed that we developed from the rice from the seed rice we brought over from Sierra Leone. So now this is available there in the country. It'll be there in time for whatever the next as a credit to the present administration, and then as a benefit, a tremendous benefit to whatever the succeeding administration is. So that's the way we're gonna handle that, and we're hopeful that the interest will be such that it'll be possible, practical for us to go in and expand with a higher degree of cooperation and a lower degree of corruption, get our program going there in the country. This, for those of you who didn't get a chance to meet him, this is Mr. Io Bay. He's an investigative journalist who's doing a documentary on our operation, specifically our operation there in West Africa. This is the department that you go to, the computer lab. This is where you come to get any technical backup information, any historic information, any data you need. You come here. This is also one of the sources for some of the old video files, and then I'll show you another station where Clay is, which is another optional workstation, and then we'll have a third workstation where once you figure out what all that you want, you'll be able to sit down and crunch your work.
So these are all video documentation of the work of the church?
Yeah, this is all of our, this probably covers, I think, what, 96 to date?
96 to date.
96 to date. It's covered in these files here.
Well, I'll be focusing specifically on the One Blood outreach work and activities from 1999 to the present time.
West Africa.
In West Africa, yes.
Okay, all right. Well, anything specifically you find in the range, this is where you come to get it. They'll be able to put their hands on whatever you need. And they don't have it, the boss lady will have access to whatever it is you need.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay, we'll see you all later. Carry on.
Thank you.
For security reasons, we were not permitted to film inside secured areas. A staff photographer was provided, and after screening, these photos and video of our tour were provided.
Our belief, because God is made of one blood, all nations of men that dwell on the earth, it is only when our thoughts, words, and deeds reflect our honor and respect for the blood of every human being as our own blood that peace, health, equity, prosperity, and love will become an experienced worldwide reality.
As soon as we began our tour, we were spotted by Miss Ann, who came quite literally running out to greet us. She is a lovely woman who is over the age of 18 and still cuts her own grass with an electric lawnmower. She is one of many living examples of the type of miraculous intervention Dr. Jackson spoke about in our earlier interview. After showering us all with hugs and kisses, we were allowed to videotape her and her daughter Donna nursing their new baby goats, which is typical of the animal husbandry activities engaged in here and abroad.
They're almost as pretty as you are. Good, don't blow my game out the water. Pitch it woo here, come on.
Are any of the other little babies going okay?
I hadn't checked it. I gotta check and see.
Find out if they have any brothers or sisters. Aunts, uncles, or cousins, whatever. See?
One blood, international. One blood, international. Development of the people, bringing life back to the people. One blood, one God. We forget one word. I take this message from dictionary Oxford. Love one another, please don't discriminate each other. One blood international has come to our rescue. We have to know its values. It provides loans, aids in famine, settles disputes between personalities, and again share gender equalities between homes and communities. Oh, we are from one blood, so we have to share one word, marriage coloration. Stop the confusion, stop the discrimination. You got to stop all evil acts, cause this is the fact. Dr. Kenneth Jackson has made it simple. Don't make it fearful. Go tell your people that one blood is helpful.